Hi, so in this video, I'm going to do a kind of brief explanation of what to do once you get to a competition, especially if it is your first time competing. I recommend you watch this video just so you kind of know what to expect once you're at a competition. So competition are also called feshes, so if I use that name interchangeably, that's just so you know what it means. So first, what'll happen is you'll walk in. You want to make sure that before you get there, you have everything you need for your costume and your hair, and your shoes and poodle socks. So I know it kind of can be a lengthy list, but again, email me, ask me questions, ask all of the people here at O'Hare are super sweet and nice, and everyone can answer these questions too. So first, you'll want to get inside. One thing I recommend before you go is to print out, there's usually on QuickFesh or Feshworks, the websites where on those websites, there will be usually information about the venue, and so that will mean that they will usually sometimes have a map, maybe, or have just kind of general information. So I recommend you print that stuff out. Another thing I recommend you print out is the stage assignments. So there will be a long list, and it'll have the number of the stage and all of the dances dancing on that stage. That is super, super important to have at a competition. Usually they will give you that information when you get to the competition, or you can find it online and just have a digital copy. But either way, I would recommend having that in some form before you get there, because especially now because of COVID, things might change a little bit. Also on QuickFesh or Feshworks, they will also have a syllabus, and I recommend you read through that syllabus, especially if you're newer, just to kind of get the general idea of how it'll work. That syllabus will have information on costumes, on kind of venue information. There's also usually a contact information there, so an email that you can email if you have questions. And yeah, so I really recommend you look over that. That could also have information on venue. I think I already said that. So read that before you go. Now, once you get to a competition, I recommend that you have, if you do your hair for competition, I recommend you have that ready. If you're wearing like a black leotard, I know a lot of younger dancers or newer dancers will wear a black leotard and then the O'Hare skirt. I recommend you have like the leotard on, maybe just a pair of shorts, just so you can have some time to warm up. But that way, if you need to like eat a snack or something, you're not going to get it all over your costume. So I recommend that you get there an hour and a half before you actually dance. And usually the stage assignment, that sheet I was talking about, does a pretty good job of telling you when you should start, especially now because of COVID. They have limited numbers inside of these venues. And that can all, if you need help determining what time to arrive, ask me, ask someone else, because you never want to be late for when you dance. So I recommend that you be there like an hour before you dance. I know that sometimes now because of COVID, they won't let you into the venue. So just read the syllabus, because it'll have information on that, and always ask questions. So generally you will arrive there. If they let you in, great. You will find the numbers table. So there will be a table where you will get your number. Now this number is super important. You need to hold on to this number. It is how the judge knows who you are, sort of, and I'll get to that in a second. So you will get your number, and on the back of your number, that it will usually say what stage you're on, and then also the different tags for the dances that you are dancing. So you should go to your stage again if you're allowed in, and kind of look around, get a feel for the stage, how big it is. One thing I recommend for dancers is to kind of visualize your steps and where they would go on that stage. So you want to get there, and one thing that I do when I first get there is I set down my stuff and I start to warm up. And so dancers, this means that you're jumping around, you're stretching, you're running your steps. Run them to music a bunch of times. There is a new kind of realization that John has had over the past few competitions that me and a couple other girls have gone to, is that we do better when we're really sweaty before we go on stage. Now this will differ dancer to dancer. So I recommend that you're jumping around, you're moving, you're running your dances to the music. That is super, super, super important. so that way you have it in your head. Another tip I have is to, if you have your reel first, to only think about your reel, and then once your reel's over, you go into jig mode or you go into slip jig mode. And you kind of move, you think about one dance at a time instead of trying to take it on all at once. So once you get there, you're going to want to go to your stage, sat down your stuff, start getting warmed up. Now, parents, it is super important that you keep an eye on the stage. So at the stage, there will be a board, and the board will have the different tags. And what you can do is look at your dancer's number and turn it over. You should also get a parent card too, and it'll have tags on that as well. So you will look at the tags on the number card. Let's say it's 409SJ. That means novice because it's 4. I'll go into these numbers a little bit more, but you just have to know that you look on the number card and you see, oh, I see 409SJ, and then you're gonna look to the board that is at the front of the stage and you're gonna match. So 409SJ, oh, I see that on the board, and it'll go in order. So like from like numerical, not numerical order, but it will go in order from left to right. There will also be a stage monitor. Now, the stage monitor is super helpful. They are usually like super sweet and super helpful, and so they can always answer your questions. And so if you are a new dancer who's new to competing, parents, I recommend that if you have confusion about when your dancer is dancing, it is best just to go and ask them. They are super helpful, and it's better than not doing it and then not knowing when your dancer is going to dance and then possibly having issues where you miss your competition. So you're going to want to match those numbers and ask a few questions. Also, ask anyone from O'Hara. Everyone is super nice and will help you. And also, if you're really confused, ask someone else. Usually people at competitions, while it may be kind of a stressful environment, people are super sweet, and if you have a quick question, they will totally be able to answer it, usually. Yeah. And so you will dance your dances based on the number on your card and then the number on the board. And what will happen is when you see on the board, it'll say next and dancing usually, or next and now. Next means that that competition, that tag number is lining up. So that means that if you see your number under the next category, you will go side stage. The stage monitor will check you off, say, yep, you're here, you're ready to go. They will line you up on the side of the stage. And then there will be the now category, which means that when your competition is then moved to now, that means that you are dancing. And so that way, there's kind of like a system to it, and you will get used to the system over time. It just takes a little while. And so, yeah, you will go up, you will dance. Now with COVID, there's a lot of kind of added things because of needing to wear a mask. This is something that should be read in this. You should read the syllabus beforehand because different competitions have different rules. And so some, like usually they will let you take off your mask. So you'll want to have a paper bag with you to put your mask in, and there will usually be a table kind of near the side of the stage where you can put that bag down. And then you can retrieve it after you're done dancing to put your mask back on. And again, read it in the syllabus and ask questions because it does vary fesh to fesh. Yeah, so you will walk on, you will dance, then you'll walk off, and we can go through more of like how to walk on, how to walk off, that kind of thing. And then once you're all done dancing, usually now, because everything is online, because of COVID, you can find the scores on Feshworks or QuickFesh, depends on which one you registered the Fesh through, and find results there. And there will usually be a results table. If you happen to win anything, you can go to that table to pick up your award. Yeah, and dance competitions, like, it's totally normal to be nervous. It's totally normal to kind of not know what's going on at first, and so ask questions. One thing I recommend if you're feeling a little nervous, just take a deep breath, run through your steps, and if like you need to like ask a question about a step or if you forget a step, don't worry, don't panic. Someone will be there to ask. And just know that you've practiced your steps a bunch, and so you know it in your head. Yeah. I hope this video helped. I know it was kind of brief, and I did not go into a ton of detail. If you have questions, if you want more in-depth videos, please let me know, and I hope you enjoy.